I let you go. Like I'm always posting things on my social media, Instagram in this particular case. In this case, there is a preacher who is zip lining in above his church. If your preacher wants to be a kite and you want to give 10% of your money, I think that's silly, but you do whatever. You do whatever. Uh, Nothing gets people going, at least on my particular social media apparatus, like talking about religion. Like, I don't care if I post the fact that on the same day we started welcoming the celebration of Jesus Christ's birthday, immigrant children and women were being tear gassed. Not that. I don't care. Not about an innocent kid, a black man that shot the wrong black man in Alabama, Hoover, Alabama. Not that. Mm. You know what has happened? People in the religious sphere are very loud about things that don't matter and not loud enough about things that do. And that's the reason why people in this country are getting less and less inclined to be religious because of antics like this. If your preacher want to be a kite and you think that's cool, have at it. I'm going to say something about it. It's silly to me. It's shoe bootyness at its finest. It makes me laugh. You do whatever. If you want to give 10% of your money to a dude who wants to be a kite, that's fine. But the reason that we're in the situation we're in, the things that are allowed in this country are allowed, is because the religious apparatus who's fervently behind Donald Trump says too little about things that matter and too much about things that don't. It's always happening. Like you have a guy from here who goes to a foreign land and he's going to talk to the natives and he's going to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to people who have lived the same for 50,000 years and he gets killed. Now, generally, when somebody lands on an island to turn the natives to Christians, it don't work out good for the natives. Usually they're the ones who die of disease and debauchery and evilness. Usually when Jesus comes a whole lot of stuff to a foreign island with other people preaching his name, it ain't working out good for those natives. But this dude decided to land on an island. They shot an arrow. It landed in a Bible. Now, when you get shot in the Bible, that's God telling you to turn your ass around. If you get shot in Ecclesiastes, it's time to move. You do all this thing. You went over there to spread the gospel to people who never heard about Jesus, but you don't want to reacquaint him to people who have heard about him. It isn't the people that have heard about Jesus that are causing all this havoc. It's the people that claim to know him. It's the people that turn their back when immigrants are in cages, or when women and children are being tear gassed, or when they run all over the Constitution, or when people are gunned down. You ain't have to have no new people meet Jesus. How about reintroducing them in America? That's just as dangerous. The reason that people are not believing in people in the religious apparatus more and more, and less and less, is because of silly things like this. Your preacher ziplining, you going over to another country to spread the gospel of Jesus, and you ain't even talk to the people around here. I don't care if you're a preacher zipline. And you think that's great, as long as when he lands, he does God's work. As long as you get upset about things that don't matter and not upset about things that do, you're not doing it either. You can get mad at the things that I say, and you can get mad at the things that you hear, and it was for a good reason, this for this. You are too quiet, far too quiet about things that matter, and far too loud about things that don't. And that's why people don't believe in you anymore. That's why your roles are dying. That's why people are becoming more and more pessimistic. Listen, do what you want, but stop telling me that take your mouth off God's anointed. You are anointed as you act, not just because you say it. Anybody can say it. Act that way. You want to be a Christian? You want to take the mantle of Christ on? That is wonderful. Act like it. Do what he said to do. Care more about the poor and the less fortunate than you about your preacher wanting to zip line through the church. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.